This video is meant to give some additional information on top of the manual for assembling the Nerdyharpa. Although the manual is very clear and well thought out, I found that some steps were glossed over a bit too quickly. So this video won't be a detailed guide on how to assemble the instrument. I will only highlight some stages. I tried to use elastic bands for curving the soundboard, but that didn't work. So I bought a huge amount of tie wraps. Only after bending, I found out that the endings of the soundboard hardly need a curve, so don't overdo the tightening of the tie wraps there. I had to unbend the soundboard a bit. What I learned is that you should only glue the bus bar in place once you have checked that the soundboard has the right curvature. I had to get the soundboard wet for unbending, and I was a bit worried the bus bar would come loose. I then turned my attic corridor into a carpenter's shop, making the gluing clamps for gluing the sides and top. I glued each side in 3 phases, near the neck, near the end, and then the middle part. If you do the same, avoid my mistake. You have to put the sound post in position when gluing the first side, or else it won't fit. I had to shave off some material to position the sound post afterward. The manual advises to give the sides an angle for a better gluing joint with the top. This is actually an important step, and I suggest you take your time for this. Having built a guitar in the past, I added an extra gluing edge using soft wood with lots of saw cuts, which I glued to the top of the sides. Make sure you've tried the fit of the top without glue a few times before actually gluing the top. Here I'm gluing the bottom part of the key box. It's on page 38 of the manual. Even though I used wooden blocks to keep the walls vertical, I had to take apart, using a clothing iron, the glued joint of one of them, because the angle wasn't right. I then glued the box again, combining it with a step on page 41 of the manual. Gluing the felt is a difficult but very important step. If the felt is not exactly in position, it may keep the keys from falling back in their starting position. Have somebody help you holding some keys, and be careful, the adhesive is very sticky. In my case, the felt didn't fit completely well, so I had to cut away a little bit. The keys must be absolutely without friction to properly function. To this end, I sanded all the sides of the keys and rubbed on some pencil, as graphite is a good lubricant. Closing the side of the key box is very difficult if you don't know how to do it. Here is a video showing how I managed to do it multiple times. Okay, now start working your way up from the first row that is nearest to here. So try to feel the resistance of the keys. Put them into place one by one. And once you've done one column, they should stay in place. And you can feel the resistance moving to the next column of keys. So I'm at the third now. You should feel the front giving way slightly as you work your way up to the columns. If you don't feel any resistance in the next column on a key, it means that some keys in the previous column are still not in the right location. So you have to go back. So I'm at the fifth now. Don't feel anything, so I have to go back to this one. Okay, I can feel it giving way. So the rubber band here is essential for keeping the end in place. I should be nearly there now. And there you go. It's in its place, and now I can fasten the screws. After I screwed in place all tensions, I found a lot of keys wouldn't fall back to their starting positions. So I strongly recommend that after you've closed the box, just fasten 2 screws and then check every single key multiple times. Keep in mind that a key will only be pressed a few millimeters, so don't push them in too far. If necessary, mark the sticky keys with a white pencil, take the box apart and sand the sides of the keys. Only after you've made sure all keys are frictionless, start fastening all tensions. Finally, I found the guitar tuners to have a lot of friction, even with the gear wheels removed, as you can see here. I took out the tuning keys and widened the opening that holds them in place. I can't really recommend you to do the same, as the holes have to be perfectly circular. Maybe twisting the keys with some kind of fluid sanding paste would do the trick.